Hello, my dear students! Welcome to our virtual class in Practical Research 1. The following are the different most essential learning competencies and specific learning objectives that you have to achieve at the end of the lesson. Before we proceed to our main lesson, we have to identify first what is the difference between inquiry and research. What do we mean by inquiry and research? When we say research, it is a systematic investigation for information. It is a process of inquiring. But when we say inquiry, it is defined as a seeking for truth, information, or knowledge. The information is sought through questioning. It is a learning process that motivates you to obtain knowledge or information about people, things, places, or events. Inquiry is exploratory in nature and is multiple, varied, and open to selection. To have a better understanding about the lesson, we have to understand what is research. When we say research, it is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information or data to increase understanding of phenomenon about which we are interested or concerned. Unlike inquiry, it's not only a matter of questioning, but a more logical manner of seeking the truth, since you have to undergo different processes before arriving at a conclusion or understanding of a certain phenomenon. According to John W. Creswell of 2008, research is also defined as a process of steps used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issue. It consists of the three steps, namely, pose a question, collect data to answer the question, and present an answer to the question. Also, when we say research, it includes an examination of a subject from different points of view. As we all know, in conducting research, you must focus on a specific topic or issue that you want to study, and use various references and relevant research studies for a better understanding of the topic. The products of research is everywhere. Hence, we have to be aware of the importance of research in our daily lives. Research is an organized investigation and study of materials and sources to create facts and reach new inferences. That is why research has come up with developing appropriate solutions to improve the individual's quality of life. Scientific research is universally a systematic and objective search for reliable knowledge, according to Walker of 2010. At present, everything is impossible without the products of research. Our lives will not be as easier and more convenient as to the way of living that we have right now without research. In most cases, research helps the society to answer the what and how questions. It must be a proper investigation and should reach to a valid conclusion that would facilitate the finding of answers to the questions. Some of these questions are: how can research affect society? What is the impact of research to our daily lives? Research can be categorized into two based on application of research method, which are basic research and applied research. When we say basic research, this is a type that is purely direct application, but increasing the nature of understanding about the problem. It develops the scientific theories to be more understandable to the readers. The main purpose of basic research is to increase knowledge about something. It is designed to add an organized body of scientific knowledge and does not necessarily produce results of practical value. On the other hand, when we say applied research, it is a type of research that needs answers to a specific question. It provides solution and validation in order to apply to the real setting. If your intention is to apply your chosen research to societal problems or issues, finding ways to make positive changes in society, you can use applied research. It is also used to find solutions to everyday problems, current illness, and develop technologies. Research can be found in different fields in areas of interest and concern. It is undertaken because of the importance it has and what it does for individuals and the society. Listed below are the 7 importance of research. First, to gather necessary information. The information gathered could help in the outcome of the research project. Next, to make changes. It helps refine the root cause and associated elements of a process. The end result is such a research that invokes a demand for change and sometimes is successful in producing such changes. Next, to improve the standard of living. Only through research can new inventions come into life. Next, for a safer life. They have improved life expectancy and health condition of humankind. Next, to know the truth. Many established facts and known truth are mere lies or rumors. That's why through research, it is needed to investigate and expose this and bring out the truth. Next, to explore our history. It enabled us to learn and understand more about our forefathers and helped us learn from their mistakes and follow good things from their lives. Lastly, to understand arts. It helps you in the understanding and appreciation of the works of artists in literature, painting, and other fine arts. Then, relate arts with other fields of study. Aside from learning the nature of research and its importance to our daily lives, we also have to understand the characteristics, processes, and ethics of research. Research in any field of inquiry is undertaken to provide information to support decision-making in its respective area. Research has its desirable characteristics, processes, and ethical considerations. The following are the different characteristics of research as stated by Kalmarin and Kalmarin of 2012. First, research is empirical. It is based on direct experience or observation by the researcher. Second, research is logical. It is based on valid procedures and principles. Third, research is cyclical. It is a cyclical process because it starts with a problem and ends with a problem. Fourth, research is analytical. It utilizes proven analytical procedures in gathering the data, whether it is historical, descriptive, and experimental in case study. So, there is no error in the researcher's interpretation. Fifth, research is critical. It exhibits careful and precise judgment. Sixth, research is methodical. It is conducted in a methodical manner without bias using systematic method and procedures. Seventh, and lastly, is replicability. The research design and procedures are replicated or repeated to enable the researcher to arrive at valid and conclusive results. Research is a process that requires patience and thought. So as a process, it proceeds from one to the next in a progression until its completion. At some point in the process, the researcher needs to go back to rethink, reevaluate, or repeat. That is why the research process is considered as iterative or involves repetition. The following are the different research processes as stated by Prieto and others. First, define research problem. Ask yourself the question, what is the problem that needs to be addressed or solved? Next, review the literature. What evidence is already presented? Third, formulate hypothesis. How are we going to find or look for the answer to questions being studied? Fourth, design research. Where will the study be shown and with what population? Fifth, collect data. Are we ready to gather the data? Where do we find the data? Sixth, analyze data. How do the data answer the research queries? And lastly, interpret and report. What are the implications of the results? Aside from the characteristics and processes, one must also be aware of the different ethical considerations in research. Ethics generally is considered to deal with beliefs about what is right or wrong, proper or improper, or good or bad. According to a dictionary definition, to be ethical is to conform to accepted professional practice. Therefore, Ethics refers to the rules of behavior based on ideas about what is normally good and bad. According to Resnick of 2007, ethical norms are significant in conducting research studies as explained in the following. First, ethics promotes the pursuit of knowledge, truth, and credibility. It also fosters values that are essential to collaborate work. Simply, ethics is about the value of integrity, objectivity, and collaboration. Next, ethical norms help individuals to be accountable in every act that the researchers undertake. Ethics also ensure the value of honesty and responsibility. And lastly, an ethical norm in research also needs public awareness. This can be evaluated by the researcher before conducting the study because this may help a certain population in an area once the study is completed. The following is a general summary of some ethical principles for research. Given the importance of ethics in the conduct of research, you will follow these codes and policies for research. First is honesty. This must be maintained in all communication, and data should not be fabricated. Next is objectivity. Biases should be avoided in experimental design, data analysis, interpretation, expert testimony, and other aspects of research. Next is the value of integrity. It means to keep your promises and agreements. Next is carefulness. Careless errors and negligence should be avoided. Followed by openness. To share data, results, ideas, and tools, you must be open to criticism and new ideas. Next is respect for intellectual property. You have to give proper acknowledgement or credit for all researchers. Next is the value of confidentiality. You have to protect confidential communication. Followed by responsible publication. Remember that duplicate publication should be avoided. Next is responsible mentoring. You have to help to educate, mentor, and advise students. Another ethical principles are respect colleagues. All peers should be treated fairly. A researcher must also consider social responsibility. To strive to promote social good and social harm should be avoided. Followed by non-discrimination. You have to avoid discrimination against colleagues or students based on sex, races, ethnicity, and other factors. The value of competence should also be considered. You have to maintain and improve professional competence and expertise through lifelong education and learning. The value of legality should also be considered. You have to know and obey relevant laws and institutional governmental policies. Animal care and human subject protection should also be considered in research. In animal care, you have to show proper respect and care for animals when using them in research. When it comes to human subject protection, you have to minimize harms and risk and maximize benefits, respect human dignity, privacy, and autonomy. Aside from being aware of the different ethical considerations in conducting research, you must also know the different unethical practices to be avoided. First is deceiving a respondent about the true purpose of a study. Your participants or respondents have the right to know the purpose of conducting the study once they will be used as the subject of your research. Next, asking a respondent question that cause him or her extreme embarrassment, guilt, emotional turmoil by remaining him or her of an unpleasant experience. You should know that you have to respect their right to privacy. Next is invading the privacy of a respondent. You should only ask questions that are relevant to your study. Next, studying the respondents or research subjects without their knowledge. Inform your participants or respondents in advance if they will be used as your subject in the conduct of your research study. You may ask them to sign first the participant consent form before using them in your research as subject. Another unethical practice in conducting research is when analyzing the data in which you are only revealing part of the facts, presenting facts out of context, falsifying findings, or offering misleading presentations such as lying with the statistics. Remember to be honest, careful, and objective in disclosing information. Our next topic is all about the difference between a qualitative research and a quantitative research. Research can also be classified into two, as qualitative or qualitative research based on the types of data needed. When we say qualitative research, it seeks to answer questions about why and how people behave in the way they do. It provides in-depth information about human behavior. It is used to gain understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations. It is concerned with experiences, understanding, and words of the individual. It requires non-numerical data, which means that the researcher uses words rather than numbers to express the results, the inquiry, or investigation about people's thoughts, beliefs, feelings, views, and lifestyle regarding the object of the study. These opinionated answers of the people are not measurable. So, verbal language is the right way to express your findings in a qualitative research. A quantitative research, on the other hand, is explaining phenomena by collecting numerical data that are analyzed using mathematically based methods, such as statistics in particular. Mostly, it is concerned with the numbers and measurement. It involves measurement of data. Thus, it presents research findings referring to the number or frequency of something in numerical forms, just like percentages, fractions, and numbers. Here are more on the differences of qualitative from quantitative research. As to purpose, a qualitative research aims to explain and gain insight and understanding of phenomena through intensive collection of narrative data. It generates hypotheses to be tested and is inductive in nature. On the other hand, a quantitative research as a purpose aims to explain, predict, and/or control phenomena through focused collection of numerical data. You need to test hypotheses, and it is deductive in nature. As to approach to inquiry, qualitative research is objective, holistic, and process-oriented, unlike quantitative research, which is objective, focused, and outcome-oriented. When it comes to hypothesis in a qualitative research, it is tentative, evolving, and based on particular study. But usually in a qualitative research, we use assumption instead of hypothesis. On the other hand, in a quantitative research, hypothesis is specific, testable, and stated prior to particular study. When it comes to research setting, in a qualitative research, controlled setting is not as important. However, in a quantitative research, the research setting must be controlled to the degree possible. When it comes to sampling method, in a qualitative research, we usually use purposive sampling, in which it intends to select small but not necessarily representative sample in order to get in-depth understanding. However, in a quantitative research, we usually use random sampling, wherein it intends to select large representative sample in order to generalize results to a population. A qualitative and quantitative research also vary when it comes to measurement and design and method. When it comes to measurement, a qualitative research is non-standardized, narrative, and ongoing. Unlike with the quantitative research, it is standardized, numerical, and at the end. When it comes to design and method, a qualitative research is flexible, specified only in general terms in advance of study, non-intervention, minimal disturbance, all descriptive, and consider many variable or small group. However, in a quantitative research, when it comes to design and method, it is structured, inflexible, is specified in detail in advance of study, intervention, manipulation, and control descriptive, correlational, causal comparative, experimental, consider few variables and large group. As to data collection strategies in a qualitative research, it uses document and artifacts from participants and non-participants. Interviews, focus group discussion, administration of questionnaires, and taking of extensive, detailed field notes are also used. On the other hand, in a quantitative research, data collection strategies involves observations, interviews and focus group discussions, and administration of tests and questionnaires. That's all about our lesson for this week in Practical Research 1. Thank you for watching and see you again next week.